With the growing popularity of the horror comedy genre and the interest of the audience to see famous titles get interconnected in a joint universe has really sparked some inventive ideas and storylines. Even though Bhediya refreshingly presents something inventive, original and unique, the audience somehow is more keen to storm into the theatre in the second week of a well-made Malayalam remake than to take the risk of watching something new offered by Bollywood. I don't really blame them, as the relationship has soured over the years and it takes a bit of convincing to take the risk of watching something new. Swallowing this tough pill, I stepped inside a semi-packed theatre for the Amar Kaushik directed film Bhediya, starring Varun Dhawan, Abhishek Banerjee and Kriti Sanon in lead roles. The movie focuses on Bhaskar, who with his cousin Janardhan, played by Abhishek Banerjee, goes to Arunachal Pradesh for a development project. And while discovering several facets of the location and its locals, Bhaskar, played by Varun Dhawan, on a random evening gets chased and bitten by an animal that leads to him mimicking Bhediya-like tendencies. Everything from heightened sense of smell, increased hunger and a full moon night triggering his next hunt. How the group of misfits find a solution to get him out of this problem, tying into the real purpose of why Bhaskar may have been chosen as the target of the animal, and the role of Bhediya from the point of view of its origin, threats and surroundings, interconnecting with the environment and its role against those that cause harm to it, forms the basic storyline of Bhediya. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theatres or not. Background score, cinematography and VFX. I think it's become like seeking a needle in a haystack when any Hindi film project genuinely attempts to create original music. While Sab Theek Hai and Jungle Mein Kaand Ho Gaya are still additions to the album that I found to be forgettable, the melodious tune of Apna Bana Le sung by Arijit Singh really is the highlight of the album. But more than the songs, it is the background score that we heard in the title announcement of Bhediya that really is the piece which encompasses the eerie tone of the film. This especially heightens during sequences where Bhediya appears and there is an impending doom ahead. What will be the most striking or impressive quality of this film, which I think everyone will take away, is the cinematography by Jishnu. In an era where most film productions are set in computer-generated locations, the film is mostly set in Arunachal Pradesh, and even beyond its dense forests, it has captured the essence of the state, its people, and the eccentricities extremely well. Even more so, not just the visual landscape of the film, but the special effects integrated with the Bhediya never come across as cartoonish. There are several sequences which include the transformation of Varun into the animal, and combat sequences with the Bhediya which actually engage you while the animal is totally computer generated. A feat of the technical team that really has gone above and beyond its visuals. The frame of the Bhediya leaping towards the camera or even having the change of heart, knowing the person in front of him, is the fine detailing one expects from films, and the movie delivers the same. Meandering first half. The film really does take a lot of time to set up its motivations, the ultimate attack, and the ramifications it has on Bhaskar's life. This leads to the first half of the film becoming inundated with comedic gags that work individually, but you're so interested in what transpires with the land and the legend of the Bhediya that you want the film to get to its point. You've got slapstick comedy scenes like a bat attack, the main character being fearful of dogs, dialogues convincing the youth of the development project like "Aapko tiger se zyada tiger shroff" or "Jungle se zyada jungle book pasand hai," and a case of a stool test that will make even the slightly squeamish literally gag, because what's aimed at comedy just becomes bottom of the barrel potty jokes. An interval block from a special effects point of view works brilliantly, but the issue is the screenplay that has already developed the effect on Bhaskar, lacking the impact or shock value that should entail with the interval block. Hilarious Abhishek Banerjee. One of the biggest strengths of Bhediya is the ability of an actor like Abhishek Banerjee to make even the slightly amusing or even cringy lines actually hilarious. This is a combination of Abhishek's animated expressions and his delivery that makes some of the most absurd sequences shockingly funny. Looking at the unsure nature of the doctor, Abhishek states, "Shayad डॉक्टर को ऐसी भाषा शोभा नहीं देती." Describing Bhaskar's wound and referencing a commode, चुत्तड़, सेब, छेद or a gadda. Nothing beats, however, a gag dedicated to our very own badass Ravi Kumar that had me rolling on the floor laughing. A gag that works the best in this film. Deepak Dobriyal adds to the fun with dialogues like "भेड़िया और शायर दोनों चांदनी रात पसंद करते हैं." Some meta references from Varun with dialogues like "क्या करूं मैं, मर जाऊं, मेरी कोई feelings नहीं है" really add to some of the clever writing of this film. Sadly, what should have been consistent is more sporadic in the screenplay of this film. Lack of emotional depth and shock value. I think one of the biggest drawbacks of this film is that it lacks any form of emotional depth, whether it be the origin of the Bhediya or why the animal stands for the environment that may be compromised due to human intervention. This leads to the emotional moments actually being inconsistent and coming across as preachy rather than organic. There are discussions had about the casual racism flung towards people from Arunachal Pradesh, and it just becomes a topic of discussion rather than an organic flow of the relationship shared within the group, as if the movie makers wanted to just tick off a box regarding a topic. This is the same case of an emotional back and forth between Kriti and Varun about the significance of the lungs of the world and how nature should not be sacrificed in the name of development. These sequences are good individually but come out of nowhere in the screenplay, and the ultimate twist in the second half could be seen from a mile away, lacking the shock value that could have otherwise elevated this storyline. A redeemable second half, but the stakes never get too high. The film does become more consistent with its punchlines and where it is headed in the second half. Varun Dhawan brings the much needed physicality to the role that makes the transformation and the turn of events believable. Abhishek Banerjee's punchlines really do deliver, even more so, but the climax can be best described as underwhelming, as you will never feel as if the stakes get high enough to be absolutely invested in what will be the conclusion. I think what was lacking was the exceptional way in which Raj and DK concluded a film like Stree, that wrapped up an emotionally engaging origin story, a thrilling and hilarious climax, and a possible venture ahead with a shocking reveal, most of which is missing in the conclusion of Bhediya. I have to, however, give credit to the VFX team again, that makes even the Bhediya convincingly portray an emotional scene in the climax. I have huge respect for the makers going out on the limb to try something original and unique, but I would be lying to you if I said that it was a home run in its entirety. It delivers in its visuals, special effects and comedic gags, but definitely lacks the emotional depth, scares and shock value that would have made the venture memorable for months to come. At least the mid-credit scene had some respite and ends on a hilarious and hopeful note for more. And I'll leave it at that. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Bhediya. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.